Are we online by the way already?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
Yes, we are.
okay.
What's up, everybody? Welcome.
Hello everyone. Then.
Guess I should have said it a bit more straightforward.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So we're live right now. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to a best of 9, which I am very, very excited for. Not only do we have two of the the greats, actually, I would say, of overall StarCraft 2, of the foreign scene especially, Astrea and Elazer. Astrea probably a little bit newer overall in the scene than Elazer. He has been around, but you know what, really doubling down on StarCraft 2, I'd say Astrea definitely a little bit of the guy coming in later. But oh my dear lord, has he been giving us some amazing PVCs recently?
Yeah, man.
And oh,
Yeah, sorry, go on.
and with me, of course, is the one and only professional coach. It is Matisse.
Hello everyone. Nice to meet you.
Nice. What was it? What you were gonna say?
I was saying I don't remember already.
The PVC of Astrea. I said, wow.
Ah, right. Yes. So, I mean, his games against Darkware in GSL were kind of really nice, right? So
Yeah.
I think Astrea is showing some really serious, really nice ZvP, and also so is Elazer, right? So I think
Yep.
this is going to be a crazy match.
I really hope so. So, what do you think would be a good fair map to start things on for like a PVC?
Well, are we aiming for balance? I assume, right?
Yeah, or just what would be the coolest one, maybe.
Well, I think Golden Wall is pretty fun for this for the season, right? So that could be pretty nice. But well, the most balanced map I would say is probably Everdream, maybe. Well,
Everdream.
it's kind of big, right? So maybe Eternal. Maybe Eternal. Yeah,
Maybe
Eternal
Eternal.
seems fair.
All right. We'll start it off with Eternal, and then hopefully these guys will just duke it out so much that ultimately we're gonna end up on the Golden Wall map, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leave it up a little bit
Yeah.
to faith.
Okay.
Um. So where is Mr. Elazer? Have you located him yet on the US servers?
I don't see him on US. Let me check if he's on Europe.
You probably have them on most of your friend list.
He is, yes, he is on Europe, on BZ.
I see. All right, we will of course switch between all the things. Wait, can I now say Eastern US? Okay, that's good. That's good. Can I change this now in the lobby? I've not done this since the new thing, the new update. This is all new and spectacular stuff to me. Anyway, yeah, if you could get in touch with Elazer. Elazer's still streaming. He's in a game right now. Ah, okay. So he's still doing a little bit of ladder, trying to prep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's warming up. This is the most important tournament that he's gonna play this month. So, all right, I'm entering lobby, but I'm not entering lobby, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
Am I in the lobby?
No, it says that you elected not to join. I'll try to invite you again.
I guess I'm gonna relog then.
All right. I mean, he can't just throw away those valuable ladder points, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, those are pretty important. They give you better practice, right? So
this is true.
On the other hand, when I coach people, I always call them magic internet points because people need to understand that they stress a little too much about them, though.
Yeah, that's true as well. Because then you just get in a weird mindset where you're just like continuously panicking about just your SR, and then you're gonna get in the wrong mind space overall, aren't you?
Exactly right. Like for example, it's much more important to actually progress and improve rather than getting points, right? And when you only focus on getting points, you might not even improve at all, or you might not improve at the proper pace. For example, because you all in your way to Diamond or Master instead of just learning how to play properly, for example, right?
Yeah, that makes sense. But then
And
once you're in diamonds, it's gonna be you know, a tougher practice overall, right? Where it's like
yeah. So I'm not saying this is
if you
you know bad to do that, but I'm
would you
saying, for example, for mindset, it's much better to judge your improvement by some external matters like whether you're faster or are you spending money better instead of just looking at the points, because you might get more points, but you still might be worse, even, for example, right?
yeah, that makes sense. Would you be able to kind of compare something such as, I don't know, lifting weights, right? If you starting off lifting weights and then you, if there was such a thing as cheesing lifting weights or something like that, and then you were to like start lifting way too high up on the ladder with lifting weights, right? Way too heavy weights. It wouldn't be good for you, right? You wouldn't be able to get good practice. Do you think that's something similar in StarCraft 2, where if you start playing immediately against people that are way better than you overall, just would that be worse practice, or do you think that would be better practice actually?
Well, I think it'll be better, right? Like you always want to play against people who beat you because that's the best way to improve, basically, right? So there is some argument that you could probably want to go higher in ladder to meet better practice for sure, right? Like because if you win the game, then none of the convictions that you have about the game have been challenged, right? And if you lose the game, then it means something sucked, right? So.
True.
Yeah, so for example, if you let's say for one, let's say you stay on MMR where you are right now, but you only played for an entire year in Pro House against Stats, Serral, and Maro, let's say.
Just
And
one quick sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, sorry. Mm-hmm.
Elazer just joined. If you are in
Oh,
the
okay.
lobby as
Can
well,
you
we'll
can
be
you
able
invite
to.
me? Can you invite me?
I don't see you online right now. Are you on
I'm
EU?
online. I'm on NA.
NA, interesting.
Okay, I can join after Astrea. Let's see if that's gonna work.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, perfect.
Ah, we're not friends apparently on NA. All right, continue onwards. Playing against Maru. How would that do for you?
Yeah. So, for example, right, like your MMR would not improve, but your skill would improve immensely, right? Because you're getting beaten over and over by better players that eventually you're gonna slowly learn to deal with stuff like first
Yeah.
Reaper from Maro and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes
Okay, I
sense.
think are they ready? Or?
I think. Oh wait, yeah. They both said
Oh.
in the other. I'm just gonna start it.
Okay.
I mean, there's a countdown now. They should be ready, right? Afterwards, in game. Is
We've
it
got two
just in ladder
countdowns right
games?
now, right?
Wait, is
Sorry?
the countdown thing just in ladder games or
I don't
also
know
in
yet.
the?
I haven't
don't know
tried
either,
any
man.
countdowns yet. Mhm.
So much hype. So much hype. Ah.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
So, what's your prediction for the score?
I think Astrea's gonna take this one. Personally, I think Astrea's really been on a tear, and like it's so hard to prepare for him, or like, you know, for somebody that just plays ladder, probably, especially in like Europe as well. I think, you know what, they don't really meet on ladder, so yeah, I think Astrea, just because of his uniqueness, has a one up. But then Elazer, I definitely think he's gonna bring a lot of pain as well to Astrea. Definitely gonna take some maps.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be close. It's gonna be close.
All right. It's not a best of 3. There we go. It's the best of 9.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a quick swish of the waters.
Yeah, definitely.
Always
Right,
useful.
so in the top right corner, that's Blue Zerg, and we've got he's from the team XCOM, XCOM Ago. That's Elazer.
Ago. I see. So
Ago.
that's how you pronounce it.
I don't know, actually. I don't pronounce them. It's like a weird mix of Polish and English, I guess. In Polish, we say Ago.
Ago.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And his opponent from the US of A, he is he's the merman himself, the one and only Alpha X Astrea.
Yep. All right. So what we've got so far? Nothing really specific, I guess. Just hatch first and gateway. Yeah. So let me do my prediction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 5 games you need to win, right? So
True. It's
I
a lot.
think it's gonna be 5-4, 5-4 for Elazer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So do you think that that Elazer is slowly going to be adjusting to Astrea's play throughout the best of 9?
That's a very good question. That's the question is actually Astrea gonna adapt to Elazer, right? Because
Mm,
Elazer also likes to play aggressive, right?
true.
He likes to all in from time to time against Protoss. He might he is able to just camp and sit back and go even into Infestor, Spore, Broodlord, stuff like that. But he
That's
likes
a good
to
point.
bring some. He likes to bring some action as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and Astrea quite often in the early game is rather passive, right? Like he might be, he doesn't have to be,
Yeah.
right? So that was great question from you, I would say. But on the other hand, uh, uh, I would reverse it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Astrea who's gonna adapt, and the question is who's gonna be better at defending and who's gonna be better at attacking. So I think both players are very they know a lot of styles, and I
Mm-hmm.
think they're gonna change it up. So I think we're gonna have a lot of dynamic games, and I think it's gonna be pretty interesting.
Yeah. So what we're seeing first from Astrea here is, as you were saying, the aggression side of things. A Stargate. It's not that aggressive, of course, compared to what other Protoss are doing right now. Life attempts. But, I mean, you know what? Not that many people use it, but I feel like it kind of gives you a bit more flexibility for the mid game where you want to take that, in a sense. I don't know if you would
Yeah,
agree with that
yeah.
overall.
I would say Stargate is just kind of like I want to play mid game, maybe
Mm-hmm.
even late game. I don't want too much action to in early game. I want stable situation, but maybe even I'm fine into going into mid game, maybe even tiny bit behind because
Yeah.
uh, Stargate gives you this survivability, but on the other hand, can it really reliably kill drones? It depends, right?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it's that reliable. Like, probably a depth's a little bit more reliable overall. Already getting, yeah, well, two workers. A little bit of miss micro there. Three of them in the orange. So could add at least one more.
Yeah,
But,
definitely. And one got surrounded by drones and links. I think that's very nice micro from Elazer and not
yep.
that great micro from Astrea. But there is an Oracle right away coming, although there are 3 queens already waiting. So I don't expect that Oracle to achieve much.
Wrong place at
But
the
let's
wrong
say
time.
maybe in the main base, we'll see. Oh,
It's in at a pretty okay angle here.
mhm. Yeah,
Three.
I think 5 drones is actually a big success if the
Yeah.
Oracle doesn't die, and it didn't. And on top of that, he also gets a very fast third base. I think
Yep.
in total that's 7 drone kills. That's actually reasonable, although it was quite costly, 2 adepts and full HP on one of the Oracles. But I think I would say this is enough damage to call this even game.
Ooh, that's always good. That's always
Hmm.
good. Also, we had the 8 links. It's not that much of an investment, right? It's not necessarily that he was aiming to cancel that third. It's still more a scouting force, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
With 8 links, you can't really achieve much, honestly. And let's see, like this is 3 oracles already, and this is also 4 adepts. So this push is actually can do quite nicely if you're surprised, but it's actually not that strong. So let's see if it's gonna actually achieve anything, or is Astrea just gonna go back home and be happy with what he achieved before.
So far, it looks like he's coming back home again. Might ramp up the aggression once more with the oracles, though. Did he lose one of the oracles? Yes, he did. Okay, so I missed where that other oracle went down.
Hmm.
But there's 2 more now.
Yeah,
Twilight cancelled. And
I would
plus
like
1.
to point out the timing of the 4th base for Elazer, because it
Okay.
was planted down before the 5th minute mark, which is pretty crazy. And on
Mm-hmm.
top of that, that expansion is extremely valuable because there is a reach Vespin Geyser, right? So that's really nice. And so he knew that it's target coming, so he didn't get any early lair. And this allowed him to drone up like crazy and have money for that. So basically, he made a choice: do I get lair? Do I get the 4th base? And he decided that the 4th base is way more worth it. And I kind of agree with this choice because, well, what do you need lair for in this setup? You don't need it for anything because you're not being attacked. You know everything that's going on, and all you need to do is just power up because there will be some action going on, but later.
Okay. So do you think this is an indicator as well of Elazer aiming to go into the late game for this one?
It depends actually, because this is a kind of early game that you allows you to power up, and now the choice for Elazer is either I'm going to try to overpower Protoss, either if Protoss is going to attack, or if Protoss is going to take the fourth base, or he can just take it straight to the late game. Right now it's quite popular in the meta game to just not let the Protoss take the fourth base. Because on fourth base, Protoss is kind of strong, like you can get the carriers quite safely. So it was mainly about the opening to drone up as crazy as possible, and now it's up to Elazer to whatever he wants to do. He elected to play Roach Ravager Bane, which is quite popular and standard nowadays. It's safe, it's solid, and let's see also the upgrades. He's going for melee, so he's probably going to try to abuse the +2 Banelings, and he's also getting Spire.
Do you think it's a mistake that Baneling speed hasn't started yet, or?
He actually got Banelingness very late, so I think he wants to rely mostly on... well, he's actually morphing a lot of Bane, so he didn't expect this move out, I think, and is this actually serious move out? There is some gateways, I guess. I think it's mostly a poke. I don't see this doing that much.
Just trying to force Elazer to stop making drones for a little bit here and focus more on roaches and zerglings here for a moment.
Yeah, we had the Baneling drop in the natural base of Astrea, this Elazer abused this in order the fact that Astrea was looking at his natural base to pounce on his army, and he already lost a couple of sentries. So this was a clear APM fight here. So Elazer was trying to distract Astrea and then attack his main army, and he succeeded at it. It means the attack is pretty much over.
Yeah, 3 sentries in total over there, a couple of adepts too. Overall, you know what? Astrea not in the deepest of waters just yet, but definitely seems like Elazer is making some good moves here.
Well, I think I don't like to call games when I'm casting too early, obviously. But I would say Astrea is kind of dead.
Well, yeah. We'll have to wait and see, honestly, because I do believe that Elazer's army composition overall, the Roaches, I guess he has the Mutilist now as well, but it does appear to me like the army of Astrea is a bit more meat for what it costs, if that makes sense.
Of course, yeah, and also it's definitely more supply efficient, for sure, right? But I mean, it's 85 drones, it's 5 bases, it's a reach gas, it's nice tech, it's nice vision. Elazer is extremely comfortable right now, and it's up to him whether he wants to kill Astrea or not. It seems he doesn't want to do that yet, so that means actually Astrea may play completely fine game. Yeah.
I do think that it doesn't always have him. I do think Astrea is one of those Protosses where if the game does go longer, that is kind of where he shines. He has more opportunities for harassment, and he just always knows how to find those opportunities very well. And the more bases, of course, for Elazer are up, the more of those opportunities arise for Astrea. So, yeah, I don't know if it's... oh dear, this is a big attack. Hold up, hold that thought over here. Nice storms though, but Baneling still, okay, getting relatively close there. Maybe pretending like he was moving away there for a second. Coming in again, more Banelings actually on the right side there. Astrea definitely in a bit of trouble here. A lot of Banelings still rolling in. Okay, the Archons do tank all that damage, and it looks like Astrea should be okay. Only losing 4 probes there, but the Mutalisk on the left side. Should be enough Stalkers here with the cannon as well to keep that at bay.
Yeah, so I would call that a really nice hold. I've been watching a lot of Korean StarCraft recently, and I've been just more used to Zergs attacking earlier and more aggressively, because Elazer was maxed out at 200 while Astrea was at 130.
Yeah.
But the actual attack happened when Astrea was at 170 supply, basically, right? So, and the supply of Elazer hasn't grown because he was maxed out, right? So, I would say if the timing attack was slightly more smooth, maybe earlier, I think Elazer might have done better. But I think he's still in very good shape.
Yeah. He's trying to poke in here again. Does have Banelings on the left side, but Status Trap does find those. Mutalisk find the Zealots in the top left. quite a lot of stuff from these players coming out where they're just trying to poke holes into their defense.
Yep, they are playing at very fast pace, right? Like there is happening action happening in like 3-4 places at once, right? So it's pretty impressive. Definitely very nice display of skill of both players. Now
So-
the question is whether Astrea is gonna be able to hold this base that he's trying to take, right? Like success, he achieved success with trying to hold the fourth. Now the question is he gonna achieve the same success when taking the fifth?
This is a much more open base, and at the same time, of course, it's very easy for the Zerg here to just kind of split up or go to the bottom one instead if a lot of the forces of Astrea are at the top. And there we go, a lot of the Banelings rolling on through. The High Templar so far still staying alive, but a lot of probes dying because of the Banelings on the bottom side. Even the Nexus maybe in a little bit of trouble. Okay, now the cannons do protect that from going down. Another fight at the top. Jeez Louise, is Astrea under a lot of pressure here.
Yep.
Elazer not letting any moment for rest arise here for Astrea, but...
Yep, so we've got the tie with, again, a slight edge for Elazer because, yes, Astrea achieved success by holding the fifth, but the problem is that he lost all the probes on the fourth, right? So you've got like a nice gain for Elazer, nice gain for Astrea, but the thing is, Elazer has got almost 90 drones and he's just building units non-stop, and they're like for another 10 minutes it's gonna be wave after wave after wave after wave. And the question is Astrea gonna crack after one or second or the third wave? It seems like to me maybe he's gonna hold this one, but it's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah, definitely gonna be rough. We did see a couple of Stargates coming up for Astrea here, but I'm not quite sure if he has the money anymore to invest into this, so he's just gonna need everything he has to try and keep reinforcing his main overall unit composition here to, like you said, hold off against those waves after waves after waves of Zerg that will imminently be coming in right here.
Yep, and also Elazer managed to, while all of this is happening, he also managed to reach 2,200 gas bank, which is the most important thing for a Zerg. So if he pleases or chooses to just go into Rulers right now, he can very easily do that, and I don't think Astrea will have response to that.
Yeah.
Although, actually, never mind, in the main base there is already 3 Stargates and a fleet beacon. So right now, actually, Elazer just maybe even tricked Astrea there, or Astrea just wanted to be ready in case that happens. So it seems like he's actually ready if such a switch was about to happen, but it seems like he's just struggling to hold against all these tier 1, tier 2 units, and that's GG.
GG indeed, yeah. Astrea definitely looked like he was just didn't have the bank anymore, like you said, after losing those 24 works or something that it was on the fourth base. Man, could it also have been just Astrea not grabbing that fourth base in time, or not trying to punish for Elazer grabbing that? What was it, the fifth base very quickly? Or was it also the fourth? I think it was also the fourth, yeah.
Well, actually, I think Elazer played pretty nicely when it comes to that very fast fourth base, and Astrea didn't manage to disrupt this in any way at all, right? And it was just a classic example of Zerg economy just getting out of control, either because Protoss didn't manage to disrupt it, or because he failed to do that. Or there's just the way it is, and Zerg is always supposed to do that. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna comment on balance too much, but I think Protoss just didn't manage to keep up, because every skirmish that happened was slightly in favor of Elazer, and eventually it just snowballed.
Yeah. And then I suppose as well, like with just the little bit of harassment of the oracles, right? Not getting that much damage done. So as you said, it was kind of equal. But I mean, equal doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to carry that equality through.
Yeah, I would say it was equal, right? But then the problem was that Elazer already, by rushing the fourth base, put himself slightly ahead, and then there was this push out from Astrea that didn't really work out, right? Because of very nice Elazer maneuver with abusing APM of Zerg by just distracting Astrea and then killing his attack right in the track.
Yeah. So, Sushi, our team manager here, is trying to see whether or not we can play everything on EU East to kind of make it easier for us as well.
You mean US East?
US East. Sorry.
Yeah, US East is playable from Poland, I would say. It gives 130 ping around, which is, it's not ideal, but it's playable, I would say. I used to play a lot of NA tournaments, and if they allowed me to play on East, it was usually completely playable.
Alright. Yeah, we're just checking to see what Elazer wants, because, you know, if he says, well, I'd rather go back and forth, then that's just what we're gonna do. But if he's okay, we're just kind of comparing what kind of the ping is. Okay, he says it's okay to just do East. Like you said, yeah, it is playable, for sure. And he has like 140 ping right now, so that is playable, you know, that is still in the reasonable ballpark there.
Yeah. It might be quite difficult for ZvZ, you know, Link Bane, stuff like that. It also depends whether you're used to it or not, right? Because sometimes players get really tilted by ping, and it distracts. The tilt distracts them more than actual ping, for example.
Oh, look at that! Astrea going for golden wall immediately. Interesting.
Okay. So Astrea, is he in the NA right now, or was he still in Korea?
He's in California right now.
No.
So yeah, in Korea, I think pretty much all the foreigners have been moved away from Korea. Because of what's happening with Corona and stuff. So none of their visas got prolonged. Is that the word? I don't know. But yeah. None of them got them extended, I suppose is a better word. And thus they kind of had to go, and, well, you know what? I'm sure you read some of the tweets about it. Everybody's kind of hoping that it will start up soon again, and, oh well. It's a rough time. It's a rough time. Anyway, looks like they're both ready. I'm not going to let them wait any longer. Let's just get this game number 2 on the way. And Astrea wasn't ready yet, apparently.
Okay.
You did say he was ready, right? So.
Yeah.
All right.
Let the party.
I'm actually only 90 ping to US East. That's pretty good.
Maybe, yeah, that's pretty good. And maybe you're closer to NA than we are.
I think so, yeah.
there's like, I don't know, 1,000 kilometers or something.
Probably, yeah, probably still quite a bit, huh? It shows in this sense. All right, it looks like they're ready now.
Okay, perfect. Golden Wall, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that many ZvPs here.
No, I think Astrea kind of likes it in a way, because he is kind of a brainy player in a sense. He likes to come up with his own stuff, and I think it's one of those maps where he feels challenged to come up with stuff.
Alright. And it's a map that promotes such playstyle, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Now, we only have one golden wall, so, I mean, if it goes wrong here, that's it's going to be a rough one. He's going to have to somehow get himself into game number 8, and then he might be able to choose it again. Because after all 7 maps have been played, we do reset the map pool. But, yeah, alright. Anyway, we'll have to see what he is planning to do here on Golden Wall. It's the red Protoss fighting in the bottom right side. From California, he is Alpha X Astrea.
And in the left bottom corner, from Poland, that's Elazer. Yeah? Do you like Golden Wall?
Oh man, I think it produces a great couple of games. Honestly, like some of the most memorable games that I've seen are from Golden Wall. Just crazy stuff. I'm trying to really come up with what specifically happens for Astrea. I think this one game he was doing a PvP, and he cleared out the middle bit right off the bat from the start. I don't know if he was planning to do something underneath, but he didn't, and he was playing against some Korean Protoss. I don't know who it was anymore. Some pretty high up Protoss, and he just like, he spent so long, like a good 1-2 minutes, just continuously scouting the bottom side of the map, and Astrea was just doing something completely different, had nothing to do anymore with the bottom side of the map. And it, it was fantastic to see it working out amazingly. And I do remember he did win because of that time sink that the Korean Protoss put into scouting the bottom side of the map without fully seeing what he was up against actually from Astrea, which... It's just a fun little thing that can occur on a map like this, you know?
Definitely. And so the problem, in general, I like weird maps, right? Like it's a fun thing. It makes the game interesting. The problem with most weird maps is that they are completely imbalanced and they are very bad for pro play, right? It's as simple as that, right? Like when we talk about these Ulrena or all the other maps like from the past, they just weren't too well balanced and they were heavily in favor of one race or the other.
Yeah.
So that's the most difficult. So most of map makers, they just do standard maps with a little tinkering about around the edges. But the thing is, creating a weird map that's balanced at the same time, it's the most difficult thing map maker can do. And I think this is one of the first weird maps that actually seems somewhat balanced, right? So I think huge props to the maker of this map, Superhuman, and I think he has amazing talent that he managed to create a map that on one hand creates such so interesting games, and on the other hand, it's also relatively balanced.
Yeah, for sure. There's just a lot of stuff as well where you can see that you took inspiration from the past, right? Why certain things weren't working, like golden bases. Why weren't they working? Well, they were just too good overall, and it was hard to pressure for something like a Protoss against the Zerg if they were to take it. And so we put them in this weird spot where you are able to put like a Stalker behind it or some more depths and immediately just kind of stop any mining there. And just stuff like that. Make them a little bit less overall, have them less mineral patches there. Yeah, just some big brainy stuff overall.
Yep,
really cool to see.
All right, so we've got Oracle again. Let's see, is it going to achieve anything? Elazer seems to be getting ready with spores. He's got 2 queens at the third base. In the main base, is the spore gonna be on time? I think it's gonna be. So most likely some minor damage. Doesn't look like it's gonna be anything serious.
We need to have some ace piloting here from that Oracle if he does want to get some good kills, but yeah, like you said, it's going to be rough. I'm mostly wondering whether or not we're going to see that quick 4th base again here for Elazer. And then if we're not, you know what, he's going to be adjusting into it again. Oh, ooh, that Oracle was low. Oh my god.
That was close.
1 HP. Alright.
Yep.
Fancy
that. 3 drones, not really successful, not really great. And yeah, you're right, like if Elazer goes for that fast 4th again, what is Astrea's plan to disrupt it? Or is he gonna just let it happen, right? Like,
what is happening? What is this? What is this?
Well, there is a meme going around with pro gamers that Elazer doesn't scout too much. Is it true or not? I guess maybe a little bit, right? So now the question is he gonna scout these carriers in time?
Oh my god, it's actually going to be carriers as well. For a moment I thought he's just going to get like Phoenix range or something like that and just go mass Phoenix. No, it's just carriers, straight up carriers. Alright. So what would be the correct response? Just Corruptus? Try to get Corruptus?
I've seen Zaun do it quite often. Like he gets just he gets 4 carriers and then just carries on into a normal game.
I see.
I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Oh, it actually... Elazer might be able. No, okay, he's not gonna be able to deny the third base from Astrea. Well, I would say it's mostly Corruptors, like you said.
I might still do it though. There's a lot of roaches on the way here.
Corruptors are very strong units against carriers, and yeah, it seems there's gonna be Queen Roach Link, which most likely should succeed at canceling the third base. But 7 queens most likely is not enough against 2 carriers. So. Actually, maybe Elazer might be in trouble because he also skipped Lair, which means he will not have access to either Hydras or Corruptors, so it's gonna be one weird-ass game.
Phoenix there could still be useful of picking up just one of those queens. Yeah, this is gonna get really weird very quickly. All those depths getting surrounded, though. That is quite big as well. Definitely could have helped up mopping up all those Zerglings right here. 2 carriers, they're gonna have their hands filled with the amount of stuff they're gonna have to kill here. It's gonna take them a while. Trying to overcharge the battery here. Didn't cancel the base. Is that a mistake here?
Yeah, well, it's obviously going to die. Now the question is Astrea gonna die at all? I don't think so. Like, there is a 3rd carrier and 4th on the way. Once they are out, there is very high chance, and there are also shield batteries here. I'm not, like, there might be still some damage, and he might lose a bunch of probes here and there with maybe Ling round by, but I don't think he's gonna be broken completely. It's still only 7 queens out with 2 against 2 oracles and 4 carriers. It's gonna be very tough for Elazer to break this, but he's still going and he's very optimistic about this.
So we're seeing, well, we started seeing Astrea trying to kind of take on the queens straight up, try and fight the queens, but the transfuse is just too plentiful right now. And then afterwards he started targeting down Ravagers and Zerglings, trying to get away from the queens.
Yeah,
I think that was just mostly to try and reinforce his interceptor numbers, or?
Yeah, I'm very surprised how quickly all the interceptors died. I mean, quickly, I guess they eventually died, right? So, yeah, well, there is 65 drones against 40 probes right now. So, as long as the Spire is on time, which it's not, but it's gonna, I hope it's gonna be soon, then I think Elazer is gonna be fine, especially if he kills this base and it's likely going to fall. In that case, it's going to be 1 base carrier against almost 4 base Zerg. So even if Astrea cleans it all up, I think he's in deep trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, he's targeting the queens now, but those Lings and those Roaches still gonna gun down a lot of those probes right now. There's just a lot of, even more damage. Look at that, 14, 15, how many? 16 more probes do go down. All the Roaches and queens have been cleaned up, but Elazer is just waiting at the front door for those carriers to leave, and then he's gonna run in again. It's just a no-win situation here, I think, for Astrea, unfortunately.
Yes, although this is 6 carriers. You know, I've seen magic happen with 6 carriers. If he locates the Spire and kills it right away, there is a tiny bit of potential for huge snowball where Elazer just loses all the queens, all the spores, everything. But it seems Elazer is on point with the defense, actually. Like, there's
he has so much gas stacked up now as well, right? How many corruptors is he gonna get from this?
Well, I guess around almost 20, but the thing is, what if the Spire dies? But it's not gonna die. Okay, yeah, so it's 18 corruptors, which is almost death sentence for Astrea right now. Oh, look, so exactly, he tried to target it, but just a little bit too late. 18 carriers, I think, should be enough, especially with transfusions. But as you see, it's still actually, he still struggles, right? So if he was just, let's say, 10 seconds sooner, sniped that Spire, I would say there's a realistic chance that Astrea could still have won that game, which is crazy, but it was maybe won.
Well, you can target them as they come out 1 by 1 here, but there's the rest of them. Oh my dear lord. Those carriers dying very, very quickly, and GG is called. You think that was from Astrea, right? His perspective. Yeah. He went up against that very quick 4th base. I think this overall type of going for the carriers would do a lot better against those 4 bases. Do you think that was just a little bit of thinking of like, alright, well, very likely he'll try to do that again. Let me try to counter that specifically, and then be ready for that, or be in a better state to fight against something like that?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's likely that it could have been his line of thinking. But also it was just generally a little greedy, a little too greedy, because when you're rushing carriers, that's fine. Like, this is almost safe to rush carriers in general, but by getting such a fast 3rd base, you provoke the Zerg to do something about it, and he did, right? And when you provoke someone to attack you when you are weak, does it make sense?
Does it make sense? I don't know. I don't think so. No. No. I'm gonna say no.
No.
Does it make sense to poke a beehive without a bee vest?
Yeah,
or one
that's
of
what
those
I'm
bee
saying,
suits?
right?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to poke the beehive, be prepared for that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that these bees are gonna just jump on you, right? So
They gotta come get you. That's true. That is true. Alright, I'm quickly gonna do a little bit of a video here, guys, of how to contribute to the Matcherino. There is the Matcherino code, and there's the Matcherino link just above the chat window. Go check it out, and we'll get the new map started up. And when, you know what, at the end of the video, we're gonna get that started. Alright, see you in a little bit.
You can visit the Matcherino page for our event and contribute in many different ways. 1. Free coupon. Click Contribute, enter the specified coupon code to contribute a predetermined amount of money to the prize pool. 2. Free sponsor quests. On the right side of the screen are various actions supported by sponsors, including retweets, Twitter follows, surveys, among other things. Click into these boxes to complete the action and add the attached prize contribution to the pool free of charge. 3. Marketplace. Products are available in our marketplace, which also contribute to the fundraising pool. Be sure to check out the variety of apparel and collectibles, as well as other unique items. 4. Donate. Clicking on the Contribute button, you're able to add funds to your Matcherino wallet and then directly contribute them to the fundraiser page. Thanks for supporting your event with Matcherino.
Okay.
And there we go. We're back again. What's up, everybody? Thank you for supporting the Matcherino. If you have, of course, that is wonderful. That's 50 cents to the prize pool, so that is always a good thing. Always a good thing. And the prize pool as well. It's split like, I think it's 70 to 30% or something like that, around that ballpark. So no matter who wins, you're supporting the player that you appreciate, that you like to see win here. I'm still gonna have to get used to this countdown thing.
Yeah. When I was playing today, I was like, did my opponent crash and I won the game or something?
Did he disconnect? What is that? Oh, right.
Yeah, it kind of flashes like that, you know?
Yeah. It's weird how it messes up the game heart as well. Have you seen that already? When like you know how when you start the game and you start producing something, it will set up a little window, but I guess there's nothing producing then yet, right? Because it's paused, but it has these like slightly pink little windows. The same as when you have like a proto-structure creating something and then it gets depowered, then it turns that little tiny bit of pink as well. It's a little bug that, well, something that they haven't taken into account when making game hearts, I believe.
I haven't seen that yet, so I can't comment really.
Alright. It's one of those rare occasions where I know something you don't. Very nice. Astrea going for the blocking of the hatchery. Now, have you looked into any of the percentages? Because I've heard some crazy stuff, right? Like 10% extra win rate for Protoss if they do this.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard this, but I have no idea. You know, I have no way to validate that information or that statistic.
I actually don't know either. Like there are there are two types of Zerg. One type of Zergs, they just say, I don't care, I just built a hatchery elsewhere, and it's a tiny inconvenience, but Protoss is also delayed because he has less money in the early game.
Yeah.
And they completely don't care. And then there's the other part of the Zergs, which are actually less common amongst pros, so I assume the first one is a bit more proper. But I'm the second group, is if I get my natural blocked, I just lose the game.
Yeah. I find it very annoying as well.
Yeah, it is.
It just throws me off like nothing. Because if you do want to transfer drones or something like that, that is still quite a long distance you have to walk with those drones. It takes a long time now. Right? So
yeah,
it's extra money
which
gone.
by itself is not really a problem, but if you've got two chrono-boosted adepts trying to harass these drones while they are transferring, I just really struggle against that.
Oh, nightmares. Nightmares.
Exactly.
Alright.
But look, the tech from Astrea is a bit delayed, right? Like, it could have been like 10-15 seconds before, which is so that's the cost that Protoss has made to make this happen, right?
That's
So
actually
the
quite a
question
bit,
is,
isn't it?
yeah, it's like 15 seconds on tech. That's a lot in ZvP,
Yeah.
really a lot. So that's so as you see, right? Like it's are you fine with being distracted a little bit, and are you not, right? And that's basically it. And also in Korea, it's extremely popular to only block the natural when you're going for Twilight. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's maybe because the builds just line it like that. But I would say this is a tiny bit too predictable because Protoss always wants to hide what's coming out of like what tech does he choose. And
That's a
by
good point,
blocking the
actually.
natural, I already like feel like it's
Yeah.
increasing the chances of Twilight, which is it's not good because Zerg is, in theory, able to hold absolutely everything.
As long
But
as they know, right?
exactly right.
Yeah.
So right now, Elazer doesn't know. I think. Let's see. Yeah,
And
he doesn't.
that's
So
actually really cool that you're mentioning this, because I've heard Astrea say as well that the reason why this is good for the overall adapt harassment is that there's more drones on the third base, and that means there's more distance between these bases, and it becomes easier for the adapts to like ping pong back and forth between these bases and make it harder for the lynx and roaches and queens and stuff like that to keep up with the adapt movements.
yes, that's a very good point. I completely agree. It makes significantly more difficult to defend because normally at the third base you would have maybe 5 drones or something like that, which is transfer it back to the natural. But in this case, you cannot transfer entire 16 drones to mineral line from the third back to the natural, right? So
Yeah.
this is very, very good point. Now the question is, what's more worth it? Is it a bit easier to harass? Is it better, or is it better to just give a little more information to the Zerg? You never know, right? The Korean pro gamers almost always block the natural, so it seems maybe it's worth it.
Alright, good amount of lynx and queens here for Elazer. Makes me a little bit worried, honestly, for Mr. Astrea here. A lot of those adapts already caught out. Needs another warp in. It feels that third warp in a little bit delayed overall. Could have been maybe a little bit quicker, but he's still killing off a reasonable amount of lynx. But the roaches are here now as well. Warp rhythm's already low. And yeah, it looks like this is gonna fall pretty flat on its behind.
Not necessarily. Yeah, it does. But sometimes 2 adepts can kill more than 10 adepts, you know, because
Yeah.
so yeah. So I would like to give a tiny shout out to DRG here, because what Elazer did here is DRG defense, and who popularized and invented holding adepts like this. Lambo made a really nice guide on this subject, and we had insane performance in GSL today from DRG, and we can even see that his influences reaches even here, because it's just this hold was very convincing from Elazer.
Yeah, very, very smooth. And now he is 5 workers behind overall. Well, not for long, obviously. But he has the 3 bases, right? So overall his income is actually also still in favor for Astrea here.
Yep, because here the dynamic works the way that Protoss delays their tech by a lot, because adepts are largely useless in mid game or late game, but he delays the tech in favor of delaying Zerg's economy, right? So that's a trade-off. Again, always trade-offs. It's a matter to discuss which is better, right? But delaying Zerg's economy is generally a good thing. So it's Astrea, and with this build, he chose to delay Zerg's economy and his own tech, and now he has to live with this. And the thing is, since the attack wasn't that too successful, this ends up in a situation where Elazer still has very healthy drone count, although his tech is also kind of delayed.
Yeah.
But I would favor Elazer's position definitely right now.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, I am seeing a lot of sentries being created and immortals. It looks like Astrea is planning to do a bit of a follow-up attack here. Straight ahead, and Elazer has been pretty heavily droning up right now. Do you think he's still going to be able to... Oh, wait, Astrea's moving backwards. I guess he just wants to get rid of those lings.
Yep. And this was a very good run by, because you're actually kind of correct. Elazer, maybe not really overdroned, but is on the edge of overdroning like Elazer likes to. And this run by bought him very crucial time that he's gonna spend on building units right now. Otherwise, this is 3 mortals, a couple of sentries. This could have been dangerous, but
Yeah.
he bought himself 30 seconds, maybe even more, which is more
Yeah.
than enough for him to hold everything that's gonna come his way. So you can see, like, these are technically only some small moves, but these kind of small moves might make a difference between winning and losing the game. So it's amazing, how good these guys are.
Right, yeah. Elazer was already ready for it. Of course, also having that Overlord in position to kind of see whether or not this was coming in is also a big part of it.
Because you want to time the run by, right? Like, you want to do it exactly when opponent is moving out, which is obviously not that easy, and it requires vision. So
yeah,
look, so
like
now...
you see this happening on stream and you're like, oh, I can do that. And then you're in game and you're like, wait, I have no idea what he's doing. Hold up.
Yeah, well, yeah. The thing is, so look, so right now Astrea arrived to Zerg base, and then he sees a huge army, and he's like, yeah, well, I guess I can do it.
Guess I'm going back home again. Yeah. Bit of a fuel spat. Does get a couple of drone kills here. Like, that's a reasonable amount, right?
Yeah, and some probes, though, with a...
Bailing drop.
Yeah, bailing drop in the main
Jeez
base.
Louise. He's got to stop doing this off camera. He's got to send me a message or something. Be like,
yeah.
Heads up. Bailing drop.
Yep. Yeah, so both players are playing at average above 400 APM, right? So we can see that, right? Like, they're at the same time, Elazer was doing his own harassment, and Astrea, right? Which is just, I would say, pretty impressive, because it's just very difficult to do.
Yeah, trying to hold off aggression and then doing aggression as well. I suppose Astrea wasn't holding it off as much. He still ran away. It could have been worse, right? Bailing's, although he didn't have the melee upgrade, so he did take 2 Bailings to kill with 1 probe, but still.
Yep, so now we've got Colossus tech on Astrea's way. I think that's quite interesting. It's a thing that actually brings a lot of debate, because there are some people who claim that Colossus are completely useless, and then there is a Korean metagame where Colossus are actually very prevalent. So now the question is, who is right? I'm not sure. I think Europeans usually shut down Colossus play quite well, because all you need to do is just basically tech up, and most of Korean Zergs, they refuse to tech up and then they die, right? So the question is, so this is kind of a clash of a Korean metagame right now versus European, and the question is, who's gonna come out top? This is not a definitive answer, because Astrea is a little behind after early game, so we cannot really tell what's better or worse, because it's not a fair situation. But basically, Colossus are very good against Banelings and very good against Lings, which means Roach Ravager Ling Bane is actually not that great against Colossus, right? So, but already Elazer has Corruptors, so it seems like he should be fine against the Colossus.
Yeah. Do you think the Corruptors are the best response to the Colossi, or?
I don't think so. I like Vipers much more, and also eventually Lurker Viper. But Corruptors are just fine. I would say they're okay. It's better than nothing, but I don't like them that much.
Disruptor shot. Massive right there. There's more Banelings coming in, though. Force need to be good.
And they are. They're very good.
Until that moment in time.
Yes, this was still very good for Astrea. He, basically by math, was supposed to be dead, I think, in this attack, but actually he came out massively on top, and this worked out, I would say, really good for him, and there's a high chance he might be actually coming back into this game.
He's trying to push across the map here, but there's so much creep spread as well. He may just try to delete as much creep and then move backwards, realizing that there should be reinforcements coming in.
Definitely the most reasonable choice. And he's gonna do that,
Okay. Now, upgrade-wise, let's take a look. We're still on 1-1-1 here for... No, wait, just 1-1. And well, for the air weapons as well, for Elazer. Astrea on the +2, getting himself +3. +2 on the way for Elazer as well. You think any of that is majorly impactful, just overall, on how these units' compositions kind of interact with one another?
Well, actually, I think upgrades tend to be sometimes underrated or overrated, and there are situations in which upgrades are absolutely hugely massive, like ZvT Bio against Ling Bane. That's crazy, right? Upgrades are important in that situation. But here, for example, I would say upgrades are obviously they still are nice, but they are not game changing, right? Because this is hard counter matchup to some extent, right? So, for example, if this army was 0-0 for Astrea, but he had 2 more Colossi, I think I would choose that over having a +2 attack, because this way these 5 Colossus just melts everything that Elazer currently would have.
Dear Lord, there's Banelings absolutely everywhere. Okay, 7. That could have been one a lot worse. Still, well, I guess.
But it's still not ideal, right? It's 57 probes for Astrea, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, that is definitely true. Well, still a big investment of Banelings, which is the one thing that kind of makes me think like Astrea might be able to get something done now because of this on the other side of the map.
You know, this army is extremely scary for Astrea, and there's only 2 Corruptors, so it's essentially Ling Bane against Colossus, Stalker, Sentry, and that doesn't work. So if Astrea doesn't get majorly surrounded by huge like Baneling flank or something, if he plays it right, he's actually in very good spot, I would say.
Manages to get that base there. There's not a lot of creep spread behind him, so it should be difficult for a big surround to be happening here. More Banelings do come in for a counter-attack here. Astrea's on top of things, though, will move those probes away. Doesn't have a warp in available, unfortunately, but we'll keep that safe. Attacking in again. Those Banelings getting reasonable connections, but the Colossi definitely putting in a lot of work here. Targeting the lone Banelings at the front, though, unfortunately, instead of the Ravagers and the Roaches.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy game. Who is winning this? I cannot really tell, but I think this is. There's still 2 Colossi out, and now the question is: are there more coming? Not really. Not sure why. Those are the best units against what Elazer has, but he is managing to slowly. There's still 77 drones for Elazer, right? So as long as there is this many drones, I think Elazer is fine. Although right now he lost almost 10. So the difference between 80 drone Zerg and 70 drone Zerg is actually massive. At 80 drones, you can just throw wave after wave at Protoss, and at 70, you really actually can't.
Alright. Well, he's back up to 80 immediately, as you said. He's looking into this. Oh dear Lord, more Banelings this time around. Okay, no. Astrea does jump in there again, losing 6 workers. Again, not the worst, but still not really a favorable thing for Astrea there.
Exactly. I would like to point out units lost tab, which is usually a thing that tells us the most about the game. There's 10k difference, right? So imagine how more efficient Astrea was with his trades, right? So I think with this efficiency he managed to stay in the game, and he's in reasonable shape right now.
Keeps the War Prism alive as well. And I think it's getting to the point here where it becomes more difficult, perhaps, for Elazer to really find new bases, right? It's going to be right on top of the Protoss army overall. I guess there's one on that Astrea just killed off, of course. That one's still available, but other than that, Elazer's starting to kind of get to that point where he's going to have a rough time finding more places to expand to.
That's true, and Astrea is really working to prevent those new bases. Obviously, he cannot deny all of them, but well, right now Elazer doesn't even need too many of those new ones, because he's got 6 right now. So that's 6 against 4, which is completely satisfying for Zerg. And on top of that, slowly Astrea's bases are getting mined out. So he's oversaturated at the 4th, and it's his time to find the 5th, or it's his time to all in.
Have you seen the income tab recently, actually? Oh, wait, there we go. Already calling GG there, actually.
Yeah.
Elazer taps out.
Attack, clearly looked like it would kill Elazer, I think.
Yeah. Also, the Banelings on the left side. Maybe that was just one of those moments where he knew he would have to have a perfect engagement. Had already a couple of Banelings set up.
Yeah.
They accidentally moved in on their own for a second, and then just
contribute in many different ways.
Just coming in hot, immediately shutting most of those down. And well played there by Astrea, keeping alive against all those Baneling run-bys. Very, very nice, nice game overall.
Yep. I would say, well, the Elazer chose to play the Korean way with not really too much teching, with not, I mean, no Vipers, no Lurkers, no anything.
Yeah.
Yes, he got Corruptors, right? But they got, his army got force fielded out while the Corruptors all got sniped. And Astrea, I would say, microed that fight phenomenally. And combined this with not ideal composition from Elazer, I would say this resulted in quite impressive victory, I guess.
Yeah. I still think Elazer, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I still think Elazer, especially in that fight that you just mentioned, where the Corruptors got taken out, if he had come in from 2 angles, right? Also Banelings from the backside, that would have been massive right there.
Yes, that would probably be game changing, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Yeah, so to anybody listening, by the way, I'm coach of StarCraft 2, and I had the pleasure to coach both of these guys that we are watching right now. And well, I encourage you to message me maybe on Twitter or somewhere, and if you want to get coached in StarCraft 2, that might be a nice opportunity. I'm not really too expensive, that's like $20-25 an hour. And I'm gonna help you get better at StarCraft, so don't hesitate to do that.
Yeah, you can see his Twitter handle right underneath his little profile picture there as well on the stream right now. Matisse Seong. Am I saying that right?
No, I don't know.
You don't know? Probably
I should probably change that. It was random. It was like this.
All right.
You know,
right.
like King Sejong Station, right? Like you remember?
Ah, yeah. I remember that. That was a good one.
Yeah,
That's
I like
good
that
time.
a lot. Yeah.
You named yourself after a map. That's kind of cool, honestly. Don't hear that a lot. Anyway, let's see if both these players are ready again. But yeah, definitely hit up Matisse, guys, if you want to improve in StarCraft 2 overall. If you want to get into the real nitty-gritty of how to improve. I've seen some videos of him as well, just kind of going over replays of certain people, and he's always very nice overall, calm, ready to give some good points. He's very friendly with his feedback, right? It's not like, oh, what are you doing over here? You know, it's not like partying, angry coaching. That's the opposite of it. And, you know, it kind of goes into, all right, well, you could do this, this, or this. What route would you most like to explore? And then he kind of takes you along on that route overall. And some really cool stuff overall.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no
problem.
Yeah,
I try to do that because like there's a lot of different ways that you can play StarCraft, right? So yeah. I always try to adapt to what you prefer to do, because if you like Olins, if I tell you to macro, that's just useless advice, right?
Yeah.
And vice versa, right? So but I believe it's good to be over it's good to know most of the styles actually. Yeah. Sorry, what you were saying?
I was just thinking, like, it would just be a weird type of coaching where you're just there sitting arguing with, yes, but all laning is stupid. Just like, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's so much cooler when you do the do the macros, guys. Come on. None of that whatsoever. Did they change colors on us? They did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Like it was, they changed up colors. Yeah.
Typical pro gamers. Anyway, I'm gonna do the top right this time. It's Zerg from Poland. He is none other than Elazer.
And in the bottom left corner, blue Protoss from California. That's Astrea.
All right.
How's this map called? Ice and Chrome, right?
Ice and Chrome, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty huge. Do you like it?
Oh, I love it. I think it's an amazing map, honestly. I've actually switched to Zerg again. I'm always wishy-washy in whatever I play, but right now I'm a Zerg again, and oh man, I love this map. Unless if I'm playing against some sort of a Terran player that's dropping me everywhere, that's just a rough one. But the great thing about this map is that it's very difficult to have that probe block your first initial hatchery. Because the distance is just too long. I have to send him like at a crazy time, which is even less beneficial for them.
True. Well, I love this map when I play or coach Zerg, and I hate it when I coach against Zerg. Right? I would definitely call this Zerg favorite map, which, as I said, I like when I play, obviously. But the size of this map, StarCraft is not balanced around maps like this. I just
True.
don't believe that. I think StarCraft is balanced around mid-sized maps, like, for example, Eternal or maybe submarines, maybe even slightly too small. But Terran and Protoss are supposed to apply a little bit pressure on Zerg. And on this map, it's largely impossible.
Yeah, definitely a lot more difficult to do. But to be fair, I think Astrea is one of those Protoss that, because it is his forte, he still does this very well on even big maps like this one. How was that? Oh god, that was this other really big purple map that we had, either the previous map pool or the one before that, with the also the mineral patches in the middle. You remember that one? I think
not sure.
it
which one.
was. You had like 3 bases pretty early on, with only 1 ramp entering, and then on the backside you had some. I believe it was also minerals on your 3rd base that you could mine out. Anyway, a really big map as well, and Astrea. It's always impressed me. I don't know anymore, but anyway, it's not that important. It's a really big map. And Astrea is one of these Protoss players where, like, it was a death sentence for any Protoss, really, to try and go extreme late game versus Zerg. And he's just one of those guys that can stay on the gateway tech for such a long time with the Blink Stalkers and really stay aggressive and take favorable trades continuously. And he was doing this against, I believe it was Sort of. I do think Elazer might be a little bit better than Sort of overall. But yeah, I'm wondering if he's going to be able to do something like that as well against Elazer right here on a map like this, you know?
Well, I mean, the other part of the map being so big, it's actually the fact that this Oracle is getting killed.
Wait a moment.
There's
no Spore Crawler here.
The thing is, so with the ZvT, generally Terran is the attacking side most of the time, and that's where the size of the map matters the most. But since this is ZvP, yes, it makes it difficult for Protoss in early game to attack and apply pressure, but it's also very difficult for Zerg to attack in the later stage, in mid game, right? And if Zerg doesn't deal any damage in mid game against Protoss, then if Protoss goes into late game carriers and everything without being behind after mid game, then I would say Protoss has really nice playable chance. So this map, I would say it's maybe for ZvP. I would say maybe it's not that bad. I would say maybe it's for ZvT a little too Zerg favorite.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so with all of those reasonings in mind, do you think it's a cool thing that we're seeing Phoenixes to kind of circumnavigate the problems at hand, right? The largeness scale of the map. Maybe kind of avoiding that problem by getting units that are that incredibly quick.
Yeah, exactly like that, right? Like those are units that are good for harassing, and they're very fast, and they will go through the map quickly. And it's also difficult to all-in because Phoenix openings, they struggle against some all-ins. So like the one that Elazer did on Golden Wall, it's actually quite difficult to hold it when you play Phoenixes, depending on the timings, obviously. But Astrea, in my opinion, feels relatively safe on this map, especially given that he constantly scouts with the oracles. So he knows that he can do this, and if you are able to get away with double Stargate Phoenix, that's generally good.
Okay. Another question. I'm seeing 31 Zerglings here on the map. Is that a regular amount to get right here against like a Stargate opening? I know he doesn't know about the double Stargate, but was that like an attempt to get a cancel on that 3rd base or some damage there?
Could be. It's also the way the Zerg works. Usually, when like you want to, at some point you want to build a little bit of units, just to not die randomly to something. I would say so. The thing is, like, you reach 66 drones on 3 bases, and then you wait until the 4th base is finished. So that's when you usually drone up. So this is there. If you go for most of the normal timings of the 4th base, uh, instead of the eternal empire timing of the 4th. If you go for the normal timing, then usually you have like 30 seconds period where you've got enough mineral patches, and droning further just doesn't give you anything, right?
Yeah.
So Elazer just decided to use that to just build up some army, and that's completely perfectly fine choice. So
Okay.
usually after Zerg you want to build 66 drones without dying, and then you want to build some army, and then you want to start saturating the 4th, which is what Elazer went for.
Okay. Very good. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so have a look at the units lost up again. We've got 2000 lost for Elazer and 25 lost for Astrea. So it's actually not that insane as it looks like. It's pretty crazy.
Why did you lose 25? What's that even? What died? Was it just a cancel of a building?
I think so. It was Pylon that got cancelled, I think, at the third base.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so it looks absolutely crazy, but Phoenixes are not that great fighting units, so they need to do that, right? So I would say 2000 is quite fine. I would say slightly favorable for Protoss, but it's not the end of the world. It's still a playable game for the Zerg, because right now, look at the army of Astrea. It's still really small. He's just getting his first sentries, really, or like secondary sentries, I guess, but still, the army is not that very scary, so Phoenixes absolutely need to deal the damage they dealt. They kind of did, so I would say this is a reasonably close game, maybe with a slight edge to Astrea, just because he cannot get punished for the fact that his army is so small right now, and he's very happy right now taking a 4th base, camping it super hard, and also attacking 2 double Colossus. So yeah, I think he's pretty happy with what's going on right now.
In a good spot. Can't believe he still hasn't found killed off one of these Phoenixes. Like a couple of times, I'm like, oh god, he's gonna lose every single one of them, and then they get hit. They get hit like once or twice, and immediately there's such a quick reaction from Astrea. He's just like zap, and they move position. You know, they just go the complete opposite way here.
Yep. Well, both players play at 430 average APM, and let's see at the EPN. Yeah, it's 300 for Astrea and 200 for Elazer. So yeah, these guys are just very, very fast, you know. So the entire game is not really about those tiny mechanical mistakes that because they don't do many of them. It's mostly about strategy and army movement, because these guys are just so good that they just micro correctly, stuff like that. So it's mostly about, you see, army composition, stacking up, scouting, you know, things like that. Those are the things that decide the game mostly.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Elazer looked like he wanted to do a little bit of a poke there. Saw the army composition of Astrea and decided against it. Kind of makes sense, that amount of sentries and the Colossi there as well. It's going to be extremely difficult to break that with just the Hydras here. Looks like Elazer's planning to go into the Hive Tech, and I would imagine we're going to be seeing Vipers here this time around.
Yeah, hopefully.
The Lurkers.
I think Lurker Viper is the best composition against Colossus, but the problem is it's actually the timing of it is very, very late. So Astrea has very nice timing that you can hit just before Vipers, and I think actually Elazer might be in a bit of trouble here.
Messes around though from the back side, and okay, that seems to be enough here for Astrea to feel forced out of that position there. So very clean engagement there for Elazer.
Yeah, it's kind of very funny what happened in this situation, because Astrea was a bit too impatient, because Elazer did. So you're supposed to attack with 3, maybe even 4 Colossus here. 2 Colossus is not really much, it doesn't really deal too much damage. So Astrea was trying to hit some kind of timing, but he was a bit too early with that, which would be normally fine, but Elazer delayed going for Hive and delayed going for Lurkers. And that means he just spent money on just maxing out. So if Astrea waited half a minute or maybe a minute more to execute that attack, it would still be largely the same Zerg army, while Protoss army would be significantly stronger, right? So I would say this worked out really, really well for Elazer, and that surround was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, right. This is quite terrifying for Astrea right now. 11 of those lurkers sitting at his front porch. We do see another 2 of the Stargates being created. I wonder if that is him not realizing he already had 2 of them. Or if he actually does want to go up to 4 of them.
And the more the merrier, honestly, you know. So
Wait a moment. Big Zealots warping into the main base, actually, right on top of that lurker den. That could go down, Matisse. That does go down.
it did, and you've got. On one hand, it's a very big tragedy for Elazer, but on the other hand, maybe it's gonna be enough because these lurkers are unupgraded, but there should be still Vipers. So there is a chance that Elazer is not gonna die right away here, but it's definitely a huge pickoff, and definitely Astrea. He basically denied the entire lurker Viper timing from Elazer, which will allow him to completely freely and easily attack up carriers, which I think is extremely good news for Astrea.
Quite a large amount of these Zealots as well, attempting a bit of a run by here, but do get picked off. Hydralisk was sent over to help out. Nice attempt, but you know what? Overall, the creep spread, the overall map presence of Elazer here, I'm not digging it that much. And actually, Elazer, he could be in a bit of trouble here. Somehow, Astrea just moving straight through the middle, getting himself in between the main base and the army here of Elazer, and he's just going up the ramp. And now, if he does stabilize it, that's a one force field area. He has enough sentries to, I think, perma-force field this ramp, or at least for a while. Although they are low on the energy right now. It's going to be close, but anyway, it's such a rough place to go up here. He can get the Hive, and if he gets the Hive, that is even a further delay of the Viper Lurker timing right now.
Exactly, I think this was an extremely daring move, because this army was surprisingly small from Astrea, and is he gonna get the Hive?
No, come on! Oh, no! You're kidding me! Oh, just one more little attack there and that would have done the trick. It's not dead yet. Big moment there for Elazer. He did lose a lot of his workers, but I think he should be able to replenish those, right?
For sure, but the most important thing that happened here is that Astrea bought time to very comfortably to take up to carriers, and that's a huge deal because the best time to hit carriers is when there's not many of them, because then they are bad. But if you've got a huge number of carriers and we are approaching that, then suddenly, you know, it's getting kind of scary for Elazer. So I would say this was extremely daring move from Astrea, and I think it completely paid off, and it was really almost on the edge of YOLO move, but it's really worked out. It was a great move.
Okay, so do you think a good response for Elazer against the carriers would be to go into Corruptors, or the Vipers more so?
Well, normally Corruptors, yeah, that eventually you absolutely have to get them. The switch out of Lurker Viper is into Corruptors, because then you can Viper Corruptor the carriers. The thing is, you know, we don't even have Vipers, let alone any Corruptors, right? So the thing is, Elazer's army is extremely under-teched. So the question is, what is his plan right now? The thing is, it's still only 6 carriers, and moving out with 6 carriers is extremely risky because of what might happen just now.
This is a lot of Zerg coming in hot right now. The High Templar do get saved, and Astrea just moves to the right, just outside of the range of the Lurkers now, with a small amount of the ground forces that do remain. And it looks like he cleans up all of the high-res because of this, and will be able to pick off this base as well.
Yeah, Zerg is out of gas, and Zerg out of gas is usually very, very bad news for Zerg, because all the good new units that Zerg has cost gas. And on top of that, he also lost his Hive.
Oh,
he also
did it!
Lost his Lurkers. Yeah, so I think Astrea is in commanding position right now with massive 2000 bank and also 7 carriers already. I think he's in great shape right now.
Ridiculous right there. And I mean, what are you even supposed to do? You know what else I kind of noticed that Astrea already got himself, well, I say already, he got himself the Void Ray speed upgrade. I think he may already be kind of prepping for a Corruptor switch and then get Void Rays against them. Is that something that people do?
Yeah, they do. I'm not a huge fan of Void Rays actually in this position. I much rather prefer Archons to protect, because the idea is that you want to protect carriers from Raptors, and yeah, that's GG. Raptors alone just don't do it.
Yep, nothing else there. There was the Storm right on top of the Corruptors as well as some Archons. And you know what? Marvelously played there by Astrea. As you mentioned, that was the Zerg favorite map. And, well, Astrea, he doesn't seem to care much.
Well, maybe even ZvP actually it's not that favorite, right? Because as I said, it allowed it allowed Astrea to freely go into carriers, basically that map, right? So
that is true.
Yeah, but it was a very nice game. Very nice game from Astrea, especially because he just knew what to do and he did that, and he just basically he just did good things. You know, like he did things that are proper as Protoss, and on top of that he also did that crazy move to the main base, which basically sealed the deal, right? So that's
how often do you see that happen? How often does that happen?
It does happen sometimes, actually, maybe even more often than you would think, but still this was very, very, very
really cool to see, indeed. Let me not take Elazer's place, and that might not turn out all that great for him. All right, we're tied up here. Everdream. You mentioned before that this was one of the more overall equal maps. You were kind of still hesitant, and you said maybe Eternal Empire more so. Why do you think Everdream is a little bit less balanced than Eternal, or maybe for which race of these two?
Well, I would say it's again the size, right? Everdream is slightly smaller than Ice and Chrome, but almost as big, basically. However, I've seen some crazy all-ins at the third base of the Zerg here, and with some nice abuse of the choke point there, Protoss can actually apply quite heavy pressure. So I would say this is definitely more balanced than the previous map, but I think, well, you know, it's just my random opinions, honestly. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I can't really tell definitively whether, you know, it's a balanced map or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, right? Because it's not just as cut and dry as, alright, well, this is what a Zerg does, this is what a Protoss does. It has so much to do with, like, what a player does as well.
Yeah, and the builds and the meta game, right? Like, for example, maps that on bigger maps Stargate is better, and on smaller maps Twilight is better, right?
Yeah.
So ZvP balance is on map balance is a bit more difficult to discuss, I would say, than ZvT, where ZvT is much more straightforward, right? The bigger map, the better for Zerg. The smaller map, the better for Terran. In ZvP, it's much more complicated, so maybe it's a bit more difficult to say.
Yeah, I get that. All right. Anyway, we're 2-2, and in the top right side we have the blue Protoss once again, the Alpha X. The man of California, he is Astrea.
And in the bottom left, we've got Red Zerg from Poland, that's Elazer. 2-2, yeah.
Yes?
The initial two games looked quite convincing for Elazer, so...
For sure. Yeah, for a moment. You always get that kind of feeling like, oh boy, are we gonna have one of those 5-0s? So please don't let it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
But, Astrea coming back with a vengeance. To be fair, it is a little bit earlier for him than it is for Elazer, so maybe he's just not as used to, you know, sometimes...
That's true. That looked like he wasn't that warmed up in the first game, for example.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he played... I'm checking constantly, you know, like, stats during the game. Maybe something interesting we can say about them. And in the previous game, Astrea played at almost 400 average APM, while in the first game he played at almost around 300. So there's a huge difference, right? So he literally might have not been warmed up. Yeah.
That very well could be the case. Yeah. Well, we know that Elazer, of course, was warming up because we saw that he was still in a ladder game before before he could join us.
Definitely. We've got Twilight Council from Astrea into Robotics Facility. So now the question is it gonna be DT drop or Adepts again? Let's look at the Twilight Council. Is something being researched there or not?
Not yet.
And how many gateways is Astrea getting?
Doesn't have the gas just quite yet, it looks like. Okay, this is Deb Glaves. He didn't get the block on the natural base this time, or didn't go for it actually at all, I believe.
Yep.
Gets that creep to me though.
Yeah. Just pretty big. Right now, creep also helps in defending adepts quite a lot, because queens and roaches can be much faster in reaching the adepts. And it's actually 6 gates. No, how many gates is this? 2, 5. So I don't know what is this, because when you play macro, then you plan to do 4 gate aggression, and when you all in, you go for 6 gate. So, well, I guess it's just a bit more committal macro, or is he going to just transitional all in or something like that? But
yeah. Maybe he's just gonna throw down another gateway, or maybe he kind of thought he made 6, he miscounted it. I don't know.
He cancelled one of them, so I'm not sure exactly why. Yeah. He had 6, but he cancelled one, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, 5 gate, definitely. I mean, the way he probably lined it up so that he can apply bigger pressure while also getting a 3rd base, maybe. So it's probably going to be, well, he needs to deal some damage, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. And he's coming in right now. There's 4 queens already available, 20 lings as well. Only went up to 41 drones here, did Elazer, so that should be pretty safe overall. But then again, against adepts, it's never completely safe, of course.
Yeah, this is actually looking quite good for Astrea, because the 3rd base is exposed, and there are adepts everywhere. There are no roaches just yet. I think maybe Elazer has been broken, maybe not yet, but it's looking like he could be very soon.
Targeting the Spore Crawler here quite heavily. I wonder if he has a plan to follow this up with DTs or something like that. Or maybe he just wants to give the illusion that he is.
Well, we don't see any DTs just yet. And there are adepts in every single base of Elazer. And I think he is starting to fall apart right there. Although there are still, I guess, so this is the least number of drones that he can still have and maybe come back. But now, yes. That's
oh, you just mentioned it. This is the least amount, and he loses 1 more, and he's GG. I'm out.
Yeah. Like things like this are most of pro gamers. They just mathematized it, So, like during the if you repel the adept pressure and you don't take any damage. Sorry, if you kill all the adepts while maintaining your army, you can lose at max 10 drones, right? So. You can at least have 30 drones, and Elazer just dropped below that, and he said, yeah, well.
Yeah, for sure. Remember, guys, there is the Maturino code as well. Still available if you haven't already checked it. Go make sure to fill it in. Maybe do some quests over there. Would be much appreciated. And yeah, if you are in the mood to get better at StarCraft 2, hit up Matisse, of course, on the Twitter space, and he will, of course, help you out with some coaching for a very reasonable price. Let's see. All right, there it is. Death Aura. Death Aura. We're already 5 games down, so there's like 2 more maps remaining. One is Death Aura. The other one is... What's the other one we haven't played on?
I'm never able to answer that question.
Let's see, we've played on Pillars, we've played on Golden Wall, we've played on Eternal Empire.
Submarine,
that's right. Yes. Well.
Yeah, I think it's bathroom break. 1 second.
Yep, it looks like it. Alright guys, we're having a bathroom break. A little bit of intermission here. I'm gonna quickly show you guys this, and we'll be right back.
My name is Rushy, and thanks for watching our StarCraft 2 content brought to you by Alpha X. Productions like this are made possible by support from our sponsors, like G Fuel. G Fuel is the official drink of esports, and they want to encourage you to kick the can on other energy drinks that leave you drained out and out of juice when you need to make the big calls. Their dedication to keeping you fueled and in the game is only matched by their drive to support esports and the people who help make it possible. With over 20 unique flavors like bubblegum to choose from, they'll always deliver a great experience with each drink. Head out to our Maturino page and check out their sponsor quests for more info on how to get your hands on G Fuel's clean and healthy alternative to sugar-loaded energy drinks. G Fuel, the official drink of esports. Thanks for supporting Alpha X, and thank you for considering checking out our awesome sponsors. Now, let's head back to the action.
Okay, and we're back.
Yep.
We're back. Hope you guys enjoyed that little video of Maturino. It's a very important site overall for StarCraft 2, I'd say.
Yeah.
I would love to see
love
like
how-
some statistics of like the overall prices given away for StarCraft 2 and how much of that percentage-wise came from Maturino.
Yeah, true. That was probably a lot. I love how Rushi is trying to keep a straight face, but you can see that he's smiling while he's doing that video that you just played.
Yeah. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Fun guy to talk to. Especially, he's just always in a laughing mood, you know?
Yeah.
To be fair, yeah, I guess I was just joking around too much whenever I was doing this type of stuff, and then I thought like let's just make some regular videos and then play those instead. Give the guys a moment to have a drink, go to the bathroom as well, which is nice. It is nice.
Definitely.
Anyway, in the bottom right side. He's ahead right now with 1 point. He's a blue Protoss. He's the American Alpha X, Astrea, a AAA Protoss.
Yes, and in the top left corner we've got red Zerg from Poland, that's Elazer. Again, we've got early probe scout. Is he gonna block? I think he is. Yeah.
Run, little probe, go! Go quicker! Show them the meaning of haste. You know what? Elazer already kind of like, well, it's probably gonna get blocked again, isn't it? Yep, okay.
Yep, whatever. I hate getting blocked that much that I go 15 hash sometimes.
Yeah, I get you.
And on
I get
most
you.
maps, 15 hash does
But
damage.
This was kind of interesting from Elazer though. I don't know, it might not be that impressive to you, but he moved his drone in between those two bases just in case it would get blocked, so he would still have that hatchery go down at the right timing. So he moved that drone at an earlier time to ensure that he would be able to get it at this exact same time.
Yeah, because he was scouting whether the probe is coming or not.
Yeah.
Right. So if there was probe coming, then he would just go to the third. If there was no probe coming, he would just get it in the notch, which is very, yeah, that's a very good idea. I think scouting whether the probe is coming. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Because it does kind of negate a little bit of the overall interruption that you're facing, right? Otherwise, your overall tempo or the overall groove of things kind of get interrupted a bit more because that second hatch is late, so then your queen is late, and then those larvae are late. And then overall the other stuff are suddenly early because you had more money at that time. It's just weird.
You know, and on top of that, like, it's not only mining for Zerg, but it's also larva, right, and queens and everything, right? So it's just, I remember Hydra in 2011 said that Protoss always should block the hatch.
Always should block the hatch.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's a long time ago, but
Yeah. So I'm not sure if it still applies, but maybe the size of maps affects this a little bit because with such a big maps, it's actually a serious commitment for Protoss to block that base. But I think it's still pretty okay. Like it's definitely not bad, you know.
yeah. I'm with you on that one for sure. It could be a hell of a lot worse. I mean, you can tell by the amount of complaining we do about it. Just like, oh god, here he goes again. That evil son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's the thing that this is the only not standard thing that happens in early games. So
Yeah.
that's why it's worth mentioning, right?
True, for sure.
So we've got Stargate, but we've got the second gate, which was slightly sooner than like 3-minute mark. I think it could be a bit later. So I'm not sure. I might be completely wrong, but this could be some Glaive adepts after the Stargate because of the faster gateway. But I might be wrong. It might be just completely standard thing.
Could it be just regular adepts as well? You think?
Yeah, of course, as well. Yeah, like I think it's slightly too soon. I'm not sure. I might be completely wrong. But if it's a bit too soon, then what would that be else for?
I don't know. It's a nice timing though. It finished up as the gateways finish up as well. The wild gate.
Look, there's the second Phoenix as well. You know,
Interesting.
not an Oracle.
Adept Phoenix.
That Phoenix. No. Third Phoenix. So I've seen Zest do that, where he goes 1-Stargate Phoenixes, which was very popular in Half of the Swarm, but it's not really a thing in Legacy of the Void too much. But yeah, well, like the way Zest abused this was he just sniped all the Overlords out on the map, and then he did multi-prong harassment with Archon Zealot from every angle. That was very, very strong because you just don't know the fact that the War Prism is coming your way, that there's so many different angles that Protoss is gonna attack you from. So Phoenixes technically can be pretty good, you know. So let's see what's gonna happen here. It's definitely not too standard, but let's see how much damage can he apply.
I mean, yeah, 3 workers so far. It's already almost out of energy. But the Phoenixes, they do add a lot of value over time, don't they?
Yeah, look at the drone count though. This is 40 drones only for Elazer. He's gonna try to apply some pressure, and he kind of has to, because otherwise, well.
Can I throw out a crazy theory?
Sure.
All right. So, what do you think? He may have just wanted it to look like he was going for adepts. So maybe that is why he got himself a little bit of a quicker gateway. And then you have Elazer prepping for the adepts, and now he's just kind of stuck with this massive amount of lings and roaches. It's still doing a heck of a lot of work though. It's doing a lot more than probably Astrea really wanted to have happen, but if this attacked the third base, he probably would have been in a bit of a better spot because he has the adepts there.
Yeah, I would say it's still fine, but it's slowly getting out of hands. This is already 20 probe difference, 10 probes lost. However, there is only the layer is halfway done. So if Astrea cleans this up without any further problem, look, his army is quite big and he still has Phoenixes. So in the army size, Elazer has essentially no units whatsoever right now. So if Astrea just counterattacked, he would most likely maybe even kill him. But if he doesn't, and it doesn't look like he plans to, although, who knows, then, well, let's see. I'm very curious.
Do you think if he just gets a cancel on that fourth base, or even a kill on the third base, would that be enough here in this situation?
Yeah, obviously, if a kill on the third, that would be almost GG, and the cancel on the fourth would be nice. However, Astrea is not really taking too much. I think he's committed to all in. And now the question is Elazer ready?
Elazer, he hasn't been droning up that much, honestly. He's making roaches, he's got the lings out. Hallucinated Phoenix comes in over here to try and see how many units Elazer really made, and Astrea does back up. Even a fifth base here for Elazer does get put down as well, though.
Yeah, so Astrea didn't decide to not commit, probably because he lost Cybernetic score, so his units weren't really particularly great. Well, I guess the game goes on, and it looks like it's going to be just a normal game. Like, the game kind of equalizes. I would say you cannot definitively say someone is ahead or not. I think it's a very close game. We've got, although, well, maybe Elazer is tiny bit ahead. His technology is kind of bad, but his economy is great, right? So it's still 20 probes more. Now the question is whether when is he gonna scout the robotics bay, and what is he gonna do about it?
Have we seen? I think we've seen the robotics bay every single game so far, haven't we?
Assuming Astrea survived until that point, I think so.
Yeah, or Elazer did, of course, with the adapt aggression.
True.
That's,
Yeah, well, that's a new meta game to go for Robotics Bay. I'm still not sold on it, but look, I mean, it gave a game already to Astrea. It allowed him to win, so, well, we'll see. Now, nice reaction time on the Overlord, and 8 drones. Oh. Yeah.
Careful now!
Yeah. Well, at least he's gonna go back.
He got one probe.
He got some mining time and attention, right?
Yeah,
because
that
it's very important to remember that APM is a resource in this game. So if you take away APM from your opponent while you were doing something successful, then that's already yeah, exactly, right? So there was a lot of action happening. Astrea was macroing, but he got supply block, right? And it's not because Astrea doesn't know how to build pylons. It's because he was so preoccupied with the harassment from Elazer that he managed to, make him forget to build.
Also, just overall in that third base, we saw after the aggression, he had like a little bit of money stockpiled, and he was throwing down, right, 2 more gateways, a couple of cannons and stuff like this, right? That could have arrived a little bit sooner if, again, he wasn't preoccupied.
Yeah, exactly. And this push maybe would come out sooner as well, right? So, harassing is generally a not bad idea in StarCraft 2, right? So, the question is, where is Elazer's army? Because excuse me, it's kind of small. Aha, Elazer was going up to 90 drones, which is quite interesting. But I guess it's fine as long as he manages to more of these lurkers right now.
It's only 3 lurkers so far, but it should still be enough to kind of stop Astrea for approaching, especially through a little tiny choke like that.
Yeah, I don't think Astrea was expecting that Elazer would be on 90 drones and almost no army. I think so. He is acting a bit more carefully, like expecting, Korean Zergs, they like to actually have a lot of units. So in this situation, he was maybe not expecting this.
That amount of stuff immediately. Exactly. Yeah, I think so as well. Astrea is still quite a terrifying army here, honestly. The Phoenixes, if they do get a couple of lifts on those lurkers, that could be trouble, especially if the Colossi manage to whittle down the Hydras in time. Targeting down a couple of those spine crawlers right now. There's a counterattack though. As well. Man. We're doing alright. Sneezing, coughing, everything happening here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We're okay, guys that are watching. It's all good. Yeah, it's just the it's just hay fever, I suppose. Who knows? Okay. The laser does back up, but it looks like Astrea as well, with that little bit of pressure on the other side, doesn't seem like he felt comfortable with keeping the main bulk of his army near that amount of lurkers and Hydras on the other side. Either. So move back a little bit, gave a bit of breathing room for Elazer, but not for that long already. Actually, was that all of the, I think that was all of these creep spreading queens. So those may have to be recreated here for Elazer. That's always a pain when you're about maxed. It can get a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's an extremely interesting squad from units to the left side of Astrea. You usually don't see one lone Colossus like this with some bodyguards, but I guess it's working. And well, the Colossi are the units that are good in large numbers, critical mass, right? So I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he killed the base. He killed the base and at the expense of a couple of stalkers, I think.
Oh wait, oh, interesting stuff happening here. Bit of miss micro, but you know what? Does secure this. Wants to get that Viper so badly.
Yeah, so as I said, I think this is optimal composition to deal with the Colossus. It's obviously not a GG moment already, like you have to try hard to still win, but I would say Elazer has optimal tools right now, and let's see whether he's going to use them in a way that is assuring that. Disruptors are technically a counter to lurkers are as well, right? So, but still, there doesn't seem like there is a counter to Vipers, which I would assume would be a feedback here or something like that, right? Yeah.
I feel like the Disruptors get even more counted by the lurkers than the Colossus. Although that one did make a nice connection. I mean, still, there's nothing really here for Astrea anymore after those lurkers are still going strong. As you said, you would really need something like, for example, the High Templar to feed back those lurkers. I mean, the Vipers. So you actually have an opportunity to use those Disruptors or either Colossi against the Hydras and the lurkers.
Yeah, extremely successful counter harass from Astrea.
Dear
bunch
Lord.
of Zealots, 3 Immortals, killing 14 drones already. But there should be plenty of Hydras at home, so I think Elazer is fine here. And but his contain didn't manage to kill the 4th base from Astrea just yet. So Astrea is okay. Well, I wanted to give some caster hope, but yeah. So Kozan, Mr. Kozan, please show this replay to every
My
Korean
name is Rashid.
Zerg.
Thanks for watching
This
our
is what
StarCraft
you
2
do
content brought
against
to you by
Colossus,
Alpha
right?
X.
And well, if you do that, you might be the source of changing the metagame in Korea.
Yeah, I guess so. That is indeed rough, honestly.
Surprisingly straightforward. Look, I mean, you got good units that counter what Protoss has, and Protoss can do much. You know?
I mean, personally, I always still kind of struggle getting to the Hive and the Vipers and all that stuff set up, especially also the Lurkers, without dying before that point.
yeah.
But Elazer making it look very nice, very clean. Had those couple of Lurkers just coming out as Astrea was moving across the map. And very, very nice stuff overall. We're tied up again, by the way.
Yeah, 3-3. Oh, well, we've got that's still an open series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in my opinion, the main strength of Colossus builds is generally this timing just before Lurkers or before Vipers, especially before Vipers, right? So that's when I think this style shines. But at some point, if Zerg just takes up, I don't think that's that great.
I think it also kind of helps that Elazer, he's kind of skipped the overall Roach and Ravager tech, didn't he?
True.
Yeah. So I personally think that Storm does a little bit better against the Hydras rather than the Colossi overall. It just seems a bit more volatile, straight up immediate damage in a sense. But anyway.
Well, I think Colossus is just very extremely powerful in mid game and falls flat on his face in late game.
Yeah.
While Archon High Templar would be maybe even a little weaker in mid game, but actually just better for late game. You know, so. Depends what you kind of want to invest into.
For sure. Alright, well, I mean, here we go. Another game. Already game number 7. And it's still not quite clear who of these players will be taking this. Honestly, it's one of those rare best of 9s where game number 9 seems a little bit likely here. It's basically a best of 3 now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And when after all of this,
which is pretty good for Adepts as well, right? Because it's a small map.
Yeah, for sure. And there's quite a big distance between the third and the natural base, I'd say, right?
Yeah, very good point. Yeah.
It's the weird cliff thing here, making it a little bit longer than you would have on some other maps, I'd say. All right. Anyway. Seeing in the top left side, having his hatch blocked once again, it's the red Polish absolute beast of a Zerg. Give it up for Goers, he is Elazer.
And in the bottom right corner, Blue Protoss from California, that's Astrea, who currently has 3 maps won, just like his opponent.
Nuts. So, we kind of were talking about seeing adjustments from these players overall throughout the game. Do you think Do you think which of these players do you think has been adjusting the most to his opponents so far, or is
I
it
would
too
say
difficult to say?
I would say this game is going to tell us definitively, because so far we've seen Astrea winning once with Colossus and then dying with Colossus when we talk a little bit more about macro games, and then we've just and a couple of random games, right? So the big question of the series, in my opinion, is whether Elazer is going to show that Colossus are not that good, or Astrea is going to prove that Colossus are viable and they're good, you know? I think this comes down to it, unless we're going to see some cheeky, adepts or any other builds. It seems to me like Elazer, he in one game he just straight died to adepts, and in other games he played a quite good game against adepts. I think he was ahead, right?
Wow.
So that's
For
the
sure.
another angle of what they are rivaling in, right? Like, am I good against adepts or not? And are Colossus good or not? I think this is the line of what's happening in this game, and I think it's a very interesting series as we predicted. Right?
Yeah. I'm just happy that it is, honestly. Just I would have liked it if a couple of the games go a little bit longer, but you know what? We still have a potential of 3 games here. It could still happen to have one of those big slugfests. Probably not on this map, one of the smaller maps, I do believe.
We've got 18 links coming in, so I think we've got another DRG moment, which is just a full mass link, all in, and Astrea is completely not prepared for that. He doesn't see any links coming. He managed to fully wall, but the adepts are in the middle of nowhere, and this looks like a very short game in our hands.
Is he going to recall these, or is he just going to try to keep picking off more reinforcing links? Okay.
Very important point is that actually this is supposed to punish Twilight Council openings, which Elazer probably assumed is going to happen, but Astrea really nicely mind gamed him, and even though he went for block in the natural, he still went for Oracle, and I think Oracle just straight hold this.
It's out of energy right now. He does have a shield battery as well. The links are trying to still come in here, but another new wall has been set up here by Astrea. It's getting a little bit low on the overall gateways, but overall it's looking pretty darn sharp for him, right?
Yep, he didn't lose these adepts. I don't know, did he recall them or something, but I think it's just comfortable hold, man.
It's a lot of dead links right now. Do you just GG if this doesn't work as Elazer, or
there's no way to come back. Look at the economy. This is 40 probes.
Yeah, that's true. Yep.
I'm expecting GG any second. Unless Astrea, for some reason, managed to screw up the.
He did it. I think he did it. Again, another wall there.
Yeah. If these 2 adepts that were out on the map, if they died beforehand, definitely I would say Elazer would be in good shape, but since there were 3 adepts shooting all the time from the behind the wall, and it was just too much damage, and he continuously properly walled off all the time, that was really good.
Yeah.
However, this, as I said, this clearly is because he went Stargate, right? Because if this was Twilight, it's very rare that Twilight openings hold things like this, or maybe not rare, but it's much more difficult because, well, Zerglings don't shoot up. So.
That's true. I didn't necessarily feel like the Oracle did that much, though, if you know what I mean.
That's a good point. Yeah. I don't know. Like, well, it still killed something like 10, maybe 15 links. That's
true.
A help, right?
Yeah, it happens very quickly as well, doesn't it? That's true.
Yeah, well, so as with any all-in, right, it's good when it gets invented and when it pops up, right, but at some point people just learn how to hold them, right, so, and I would say this was the case, right, so...
Yeah, for sure. Alright, so Eternal Empire, going to be the map pick here by Elazer, which... You know what? Apparently, out of all the maps, he's like, you know what? Let's go Eternal again. Do you agree with this choice overall?
Yeah, I guess this is a pretty good map for Zerg. Yeah, so I guess I don't mind that.
Okay.
Uh,
It's a
like
fair map, right? It does feel like the fairest
well,
of maps overall.
after reconsidering, maybe it's not that fair because this like the way Elazer abused the gold, like the reach Vespin geyser
Oh, yeah.
in the first game, right? It's just a function of a map, and I think he used this extremely well, right? And
Mhm.
I'm not saying it's not fair or something, but it's definitely something that helps Zerg by a lot because gas is just so extremely important.
All right. But to be fair as well, still, I mean, even if Elazer wins this one now, a big opportunity then for Astrea will occur, of course, because the ace map, the last map that will be played, no matter what, will be Astrea's map choice, and that is a big advantage because he, you know what, he has 6 maps to choose from.
Yep. And I would say maps have quite big influence over the result of the game. It's just it's one of the on one hand it's also mental, right? Like you want to play on maps you like for sure, right? But on the other hand, like, maps actually influence the outcome of the game quite a lot, right? Like for example, such a fast fourth base on other maps is not that great. I mean, it's still good. So you obviously want to have a fast fourth, but you get 3 drones for free on this map as a Zerg if you rush the 4th base, right? So that's nice. Like at pro level, 3 drones is nothing to scoff at, right? So I think they actually influence the result of the game quite a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my god,
you
wait,
look at-
Astrea's going for a fudge. Alright, let me quickly do introductions. Bottom left, Blue Brodos, he is Astrea, Alpha X, American, blah 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 blah. Oh my
On
god,
top right, we've got Elazer that's currently cannon rushed, and he also got the icon of Protoss, right? And I think he's gonna break through, which might mean that he is
did get that
he's gonna
gateway
hold
up
this.
here, and does get another pylon there. This could be
He's
trouble.
attacking 2 drones are attacking the cannon. So if the gateway dies quickly, and it might die, I think it's a hold. I think it's
what
a
if he
hold.
just re-walls up on the top now? Okay, he
He
doesn't
might,
do that.
but there are drones at the bottom. Yeah, it's hold.
Yeah.
It's hold, and it's a game-ending hold because such a hold basically, yeah.
G.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Maybe just, you know what, Astrea, like you said with the Rich Vespian guys there, you thought, alright, if I let this go into the mid to late game, that's going to be a big disadvantage. If I lose this one, it doesn't really matter too much because then I have the map choice, so then I can be in charge, kind of, right? I can take that momentum away in that sense. And then also, like, if I do lose this one, again, a bit of a mental thing, right? It's going to be less worrisome for him to lose something like this, you know, just a random strat he throws out there, than if he was trying to go straight up head-to-head in some sort of a macro game.
Well, I'm always very scared of cannon rush, so I think this was. I don't mind throwing it in, especially if you've got advantage. However, this feels good for Elazer, you know. Even like he was down 1 map and he was almost out of the tournament or the show match, and then suddenly, well, it's just best of 1. Right, so it feels it would feel very good to just close it out like this. You show basically your dominance, but this failing like this, basically, I would say, if this was like for example tournament over $10,000, mentally I think Elazer would be in way better shape than Astrea.
Yeah, a lot more experience there for sure, as well.
Well, actually, that's a good point as well. Yeah, but I meant, you know, just the dynamic of momentum, you know, like the fact that, you know, there was just such a...
Yeah, I can get behind that as well, actually. Yeah, just overall, just like, it always feels good to hold off a cannon rush. Yeah, it's always just like a little bit of a
that's a good
motivation.
point. Yes,
it's
yes,
just
I
like,
love.
oh, You're not gonna get me that way, you dirty
Eat that,
son of a-
Protoss. Eat that, Protoss.
Yeah. Who do you think I am? You know, kind of that type of feel that you get. All right. Anyway, guys, we actually did it. It's a game number 9. How bloody crazy is that? All right. Anyway, doesn't happen very often, but here we are in the bottom left side. One last time. Give it up for the blue Protoss from America, Alpha X's Astrea.
And in the top right, we've got Red Zerg, Elazer. They switched colors in the middle of the series.
They love to do that on me, don't they? It's
fun.
Inu, the Korean, it's one of the Korean organizers of the the clan. He always enforces them to go a certain color. Like he tells them, "No, we're not starting. You guys better switch colors again. I'm not doing this."
No pink versus red or
No.
orange versus red.
No, it won't do it. Some people disagree though with the red and the blue. Like some people have difficulty still seeing kind of the. Like there might be some colors that are easier for certain people to see, but as always a bit.
I don't know how this works with being colorblind. Maybe this affects people.
Yeah, yeah. I've no experience with color blindness.
Yeah, me too. I don't have it, I guess.
There's different types of color blindness as well, which makes it even more difficult, I suppose.
True, true. Well, it's actually at least nice that Blizzard has these options to enable. And
Yep, for sure.
I've read that Red, you know, Liquid Red, he had color blindness, and when he was able to enable the color, it helped him a lot. They introduced this in like early StarCraft at some point. So
yeah.
it's nice that they care about, you know, even,
All right.
even all the players basically.
Yeah, for sure. So, Matisse, we're looking at another hatch that did get blocked, right? We're having a third base location for the second base.
Yeah, so Elazer lost already.
The 10% rule. But, well, honestly, I'm kind of wondering now because Elazer, he tried to go for a little bit of a punish there, expecting a Twilight Council follow-up after this, going for a lot of links to do the punishments here. I'm not sure if he's going to do that again, because he did get a little bit bamboozled by the Stargate suddenly being on the field. That's what we're seeing here again from Astrea. So, as you mentioned, it's a little bit predictable of some Protosses, so I'm really digging that we're not seeing that predictability from Astrea here.
Yep,
and
definitely.
again,
I would say that it looks like he prefers the Stargate, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so too. He just doesn't really appreciate the depths, I think, because he loves to play that late game versus the Zerg.
Yeah, most likely.
Right.
Well, it also depends on what kind of player you are, really, right?
Yep.
Like last game is really test of who you are, you know, because like it's 4-4 with in the score, right? And right now you bring out your best stuff. Right, like you, in the last game, this is deciding the score. You just spend 2 hours on playing this, and are you gonna lose or not? And people usually bring out what's the most comfortable for them, which means quite often it's either just full macro game for the players that feel most comfortable with this, or when you are MVP or when you're Maru or someone, you just proxy, you know, as hard as you can.
I was thinking of mentioning those guys as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still in my mind. I think it was MVP that won the final, so it's just a final game, and everyone was like, "What? No way! He's doing this." Nobody was expecting it.
That requires Bolts of Steel, definitely.
Yeah.
Especially if that's like it was GSL final or something. So.
Yeah, or WCS finals maybe, something
maybe,
like that.
yeah,
or maybe even BlizzCon finals. Who knows?
Could be,
big finals though.
Big finals, yeah, especially. It was 3-3, I think. Or something.
Oh, that's a bit. Was that F2? I don't even know.
Could be, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Not sure. I didn't look. But I'm really enjoying the on GSL. What they do is that they show these classic, the best GSL finals. Have you seen that? Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's so nice.
So many good memories. Awesome matches. Misty and other guys. Anyways,
awesome
we've got.
stuff.
Sorry, yeah.
That is some awesome stuff. Honestly,
Yeah,
we might have to look into that, doing something like that for Alpha X as well. We have been starting to kind of save up some stuff for the, for you know what, just overall clips on Twitter and such. But yeah, it would be cool to do something like that as well as the best matches. Anyway, we have a dark shrine on the way here for Astrea.
Yeah, and Mass Adepts as well, right? So.
I feel like, are we having another all in here for Elazer? I'm seeing these queens.
Well, wait.
wiggling their
Are
way.
we? Like both of them are all-inning each other, basically.
Interesting.
And in this clash of those two all-ins,
I'd say
there's a
Astrea,
clear
right?
winner, but I will not spoil it for the viewers.
Well, I feel like if I know what's gonna happen, then it's, or at least what
Okay.
should happen.
Well,
7
yeah, so
shield batteries. Oh my god, Matisse. Is that too
Well,
many? Are we seeing for the first time ever somebody over making shield batteries?
No. It's,
No.
You never overmake shield batteries.
Oh
No,
my
I
god.
think it's excellent holds, and you're right with your predictions.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm always very happy when I am. But here we go. Anyway, Elazer, this is his final clash right here. This is where it all comes down to. The Dark Templars are here. Where are your overseers? They're very far away removed because there's no lay attack whatsoever. We're gonna need magic biles. That's the one way here. And most of the Ravagers are already dead, unfortunately. I'm not even sure if he has realized because he must have, right? He must have.
Yeah,
Backing up right now. Oh my god, that is such a painful thing to have to do right now. This is like just one of those units that... Alright, well, I guess you have those units. That is extremely unfortunate. And that is pretty much it. Well, this would have been a GG if this was not the final game, right? He would have just tapped out here.
If this was Ladder, I think there would be GG, but
Yeah.
still maybe. Yeah, he's trying, right? But
Trying his gosh darn hardest, and we'll have to wait and see. Honestly, I mean, I have seen some crazy comebacks, but this one might be extremely rough overall. We're seeing... Wait, is that a Void Ray?
yeah, well, he expects the second wave most likely, so
Oh.
he just wants to be super safe against that. and
That's pretty
be-
cool. Making 2 robos as well.
Yeah, well, he's rich. He can afford that. Why not?
Yeah. You think he could just go for like an immortal Void Ray all-in?
Yeah, he can do pretty much whatever he wants. I think he might be even able to win with, Tempests and
Pure
what
Void
is the
Rays,
worst Protoss
easy.
unit? What is the worst?
Alright.
Protoss
Well, that's
has
a rough
all
one.
good units, right?
Yeah, this is true. This is true. I think like mass sentry might still give him some
Yeah.
difficulties.
Yeah, that's.
But other than that, I think, yeah, this should go his way. Honestly, we would need to see a massive, incredible engagement here for Elazer. But yeah, I would love to see Astrea kind of going across the map here, because he would enforce Elazer either to overproduce army units when he really desperately needs to drone, or he's just going to kill him because he overdroned, because that's what he needs to do right now. Or he's already going to be prepped for some sort of a follow-up attack. So yeah, if Astrea just makes army units right now, I think he should be in a great position.
I would say Astrea got some nasty 2 supply blocks. So 2 or 3 small things like this, or 1 big mistake that could maybe allow Elazer to come back, but the fact that he didn't move out, that gives some hope to Elazer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's giving him hope to come back and to redrone, so maybe
75
I
drones
would
now
say
again.
there's a tiny chance, maybe, right? But yeah, well, it's hard to say. But I would like to mention the fact that we were talking at the beginning. This is the game that shows you who you truly are, right? And Elazer actually has been his rise is attributed to all his aggression, basically, right? Like Elazer has grown to be a very good macro player, definitely, right? But he used to be he used to like those mid game pushes, early pushes, early all-ins. I remember when he was like becoming a semi-pro, even he basically was all-inning most of the games, right? So he kind of did show his true face, right? Like
Yeah.
I said.
Yeah, I guess you're right on that one. And for Astrea, you could kind of say the same thing here. I mean,
he was also wanted to be cheeky, right?
yeah, a little bit cheeky, trying some cheeky strategy as well. But also, like, once he crushed that attack, very often you would see somebody going for the counter attack, and instead,
True. Yeah, Korean
Astrea,
puzzles would. Yeah.
yeah, instead Astrea's like, you know what? Now I'm gonna keep going into the macro here because I feel like that is still where he ultimately finds where he favors the game, you know, to go to.
True, but this is the only way how he can allow Elazer to maybe come back.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
Right, so look, let's imagine these banelings at the third base now kill the
Oh.
entire mineral line and all these attacks, right? Well, they didn't, right? But I mean, if you would look at the situation without knowing what happened in the early game, would you say that there was such a huge push that got held so easily out?
No, you wouldn't say that anymore.
It looks like maybe Oracle just did a little too much damage early on
Yeah.
or something, but maybe not. It shows how that's overprocessed. I'm not sure if I agree with it. Yep, these
I mean,
down
they were
boys.
clumped up a little bit there.
Yeah, but killing probes is probably nicer.
Yeah, I think you're right. What? Just non-stop banelings here. Oh my dear lord.
Yeah, that's what Reach Geyser allows you to do, right?
Yeah.
This is,
I guess so. Yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't know exactly how he's doing it. It's a little bit of a Zerg magic for me, but
Yeah, but it's still banelings against Colossus, right? So let's see how it's gonna play out, right?
as the shield battery overcharge, he's getting some reasonable trades with those banelings continuously.
Yeah, I think that's okay for Elazer. Like,
Oh,
right
oh
now
my
it's-
god! Oh. Sorry.
yeah,
Continue that thought.
94 drones.
I
So
just-
is Elazer gonna come back here?
He very well might, man. He very well might. Adrenal glands on the way. He's got the hive tech up. We're seeing a weird kind of momentum for Elazer building up here that we weren't really expecting anymore.
So if he crashes this attack, or at least doesn't die, I think he's gonna be ahead. So maybe this is my punishment for calling the games a bit too early. But
This could be a rough one still to
yeah,
hold on.
it's still tough. It's three Colossus, 5 sentries. I mean, does this Astrea army look scary? It actually is not scary.
It seems doable. It's gonna come down to the force fields here,
Yes,
I'd say.
yes,
Okay,
that's-
Elazer
it's
does
fine.
come in from one angle, which is a big deal here.
Yeah,
The
yes.
disruptor needs to get a good connection as well. Okay,
Whoa.
well, right, GG.
Okay.
Did he manually detonate his bangs?
Looks like it. Yeah, I think
Oh
so.
my
I think so.
god.
Miss Micro.
Oh.
Yeah, the flank was something that was necessary there.
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
Elazer could have hold this.
I think so
with a nice 360-degree flank.
There was very little creep though, to be fair. Astrea
true.
already managed to clean most of that up
True,
previously.
Definitely, but it's still like it's such a difficult task to deal with 70 baneling rolling from every angle at you. You know, it's
Yeah,
tough. So yeah,
for sure, for
that was
sure.
nice series though. Nice series. I enjoyed it a lot.
Alright, guys, now before we leave, we do have more StarCraft coming up right here on this channel. It's not going to be Astrea and Elazer, it will be... Let me take a quick look again, a quick glance. I'm pretty sure Vindicta is in there. Let me double check that. Vindicta versus Solia and Ard versus Aquaron. Some pretty darn good players as well. I don't think Matisse signed up for casting that either, or as well, so... Anyway, you wanna say a couple of last words here?
Yeah. Well, thank you for listening, everyone. It was a blast with you, Colin, like always it is. And yeah, so I'm coach of StarCraft 2. I coach these guys a little bit as well that just played. So if you want to improve at StarCraft, well, hit me up. You know, I can help you with that. And yeah, thanks for watching a lot, and have a nice day.
Have a nice day, dude. Thank you for co-casting. I had a blast as well, as always. And let's do this again sometime, alright?
Yeah, sure,
Alright,
sure,
nice,
man.
nice.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Bye bye.
See you later, buddy. Bye-bye.
Mm.
Alright, that was Matisse. Awesome stuff as always. Let me get this sorted out a little bit here. I'm pretty sure we can just jump right into the overall next games. It's not like I need a break or anything. Let me quickly change the overlays here. There we go. There we go. That's all sorted now. We should be good. We should be good to go. Alright. Alright, so this is the Alpha X scrims that will be coming up. They are 2 best of 5s and then a best of 7 as the finals. We're starting with Art versus Acheron, so that should be a pretty darn cool one in itself. We switching. Let's make sure. Oh no, wait, they are both Europeans, aren't they? So I guess we don't have to for this moment in time. All right, let me update the stream information. There we go. I just got a blank portrait. That's interesting. Also, I'm gonna have to. I really want to check out the White Ra announcer. That is going to be pretty darn epic as well. I hope all of you already have that sorted out. All right. So Acheron, of course, I believe he's Spanish, isn't he? The Spanish Terran. Let me double check this actually. He is on Team Roddy, and you know what? A great. New contribution to the StarCraft 2 scene. Team Rotti, made of course by the one and only Rotti. And wait, it actually went back to this thing over here. The background. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Let me see if I can find both of these guys. I think I already have. And we'll get it started. Acheron is here. There's Art. Okay, so let me get these two into a party first and foremost. Guys, as I'm kind of doing some host things, right? Some overall management things. Let me quickly do a little bit of another Matcherino shout out as well. Remember, this is still going on for the previous one, so if you haven't already, go check that out for the previous Best of 9 series, and then afterwards we'll start it off with the next one. All right.
You can visit the Matcherino page for our event and contribute in many different ways. 1. Free coupon. Click Contribute, enter the specified coupon code to contribute a predetermined amount of money to the prize pool. 2. Free sponsor quests. On the right side of the screen are various actions supported by sponsors, including retweets, Twitter follows, surveys, among other things. Click into these boxes to complete the action and add the attached prize contribution to the pool free of charge. 3. Marketplace. Products are available in our marketplace, which also contribute to the fundraising pool. Be sure to check out the variety of apparel and collectibles, as well as other unique items. 4. Donate. Clicking on the Contribute button, you're able to add funds to your Matcherino wallet and then directly contribute them to the fundraiser page. Thanks for supporting your event with Matcherino.